Hey love, welcome back to my channel. I hope you and yours are having an incredible time together. Kiki's my name. It's your first time being here and welcome. Please hit the subscribe button so we can get to know each other better and you can learn more about my fragrance collection. Now, I consider 2023 to be the year of Middle Eastern fragrances. There's been a surge in interest. They've created so many products and they have solidified themselves as an area or region that produces some of the very best fragrances in the world. Now, I have tried so many this past year, decluttered a lot, and kept some in my collection. If I was to recommend any, these will be the best five created or released in 2023. If you'd like to know what these are, why don't you get settled? Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Let's get into the video. In no particular order, I'm going to start off this list with a fragrance from a brand that I consider to have had the most remarkable year. I mean, they released so many heavy hitters. The customer base and reach just went off the roofs, and I believe they have solidified their presence not just within the Middle Eastern fragrance region, but across the fragrance industry. I'm talking about the one and only Lattafa, a brand based out of the UAE, that's the United Arab Emirates, and their best fragrance release of 2023 is Honor and Glory. This is from their Badee collection, and this is a different, delicious take on pineapple. I say different because most times, well, for the pineapple fragrances that I have tried, it's typically grilled like or smoky like in the way it smells and a bit dry. But with Badia Oats Honor and Glory, I'm getting sweetness. It smells like freshly squeezed pineapple juice bottled up as a fragrance. It is so delicious. It smells so good that if you're not careful, you'll almost want to sip it. No, that's me exaggerating, but it smells absolutely delicious. Now, why I love this is that it's not just pineapple leaning. You also have some spiciness that peeks through as the fragrance slowly settles in. The spiciness comes from black pepper and turmeric. That also gives it some warmth. Now, the spiciness is not as intense, definitely not as intense as what you get with Annie by Nishane, but you feel that present here, giving it a little bit of character and body. There's also the warm creaminess from creme brulee, which is a dessert that has that milky sweetness to it, and also benzoin. So this is such a well-rounded pineapple linen fragrance. It's not boring at all, but it smells absolutely delicious. This is a fragrance that I believe it was released right around summertime. It would have gained so much traction, but it will still be one that a lot of people will reach out for in 2024. I definitely say that. It's delicious, long lasting, perfectly unisex. It's just a great fragrance. One of my most complimented fragrances in my collection, and definitely one that I'll recommend to anyone from Lattafa in a heartbeat. So, the first best fragrance released from Millicent House in 2023 is Honor and Glory by Lattafa. So this next fragrance was actually launched at the end of 2022, but it officially came into the US market and the general public at the beginning of 2023. So I consider this to be a 2023 release, okay? Bear with me. I'm talking about Amberthyme, and this is by the brand Afnan. It's based out of the UAE, and I consider them to be such an underrated fragrance house. I love them because even though they do not, have a lot of releases, when they do, it's curated and it's done in the form of collections. In this case, Amber Time is from the Edit collection with two other fragrances. I believe it's Mystique and Addiction. Amber Time really stood out for me. I will tell you though that the only con about this fragrance is the body keeps coming up. It's made of plastic, but anyway, we can work with this. Now, Amber Time is such a delicious, darling fragrance, and it reminds me of three solid gems that it feels like they were juxtaposed into one, and Amber Time was born. I'll tell you what those fragrances are. Now, oof, at the opening, I'm getting apple pie, cinnamon, and a little bit of booziness. And that reminds me of Angel's Share, without a doubt. Oh my God, this is so delicious. The apple pie smells so rich, and the cinnamon here is not as intense, but it's quite present. Okay, my mouth is watering. Next, we're getting sweetness. Like literally, if you spritz this on, what then comes out is delicious saffron. And the saffron there just reminds me of Baccarat Rouge. Like you're getting Baccarat Rouge in full bloom as you spray this fragrance, okay? So opening is Angel Share. Spray as it settles down is Baccarat Rouge. And as it dries down, do you know what you're getting? You're getting heap loads of sugar and candied ouds, like sweetened oud. Does that remind you of anything? Arabian's Tonka. That's what I'm getting from this fragrance. Imagine adding those three excellent fragrances into one. You're getting that with Amberthyme. I'm telling you, you don't need to have or get those three fragrances if you already have Amberthyme. It's like a merger of those three into one. That is what you're getting with this deliciousness that is Amberthyme. It's also underrated from this underrated house. I love it. Definitely backup bottle worthy. As you can see, I've gone through my bottle because this just sets the stage for you if you want to be seen in any place. It fills up the room. It's such a heavy projector. It is so intoxicating. I want to have. I'm so happy I have this. And if you're looking for any fragrance from the brand Afnan, do not sleep on this one. It's Amberthyme and it's delicious. And talking about Arabian's Tonka, this next fragrance definitely reminds me of it, and this is Earth by the brand Nabeel. Nabeel is also based out of the UAE, and I promise you this is not intentional, the list. Nabeel is actually a subset of a higher priced, luxury focused brand called the Spirit of Dubai. If my understanding is correct, the Spirit of Dubai created Nabeel to focus on making affordable versions of their existing luxury fragrances. So for every the Spirit of Dubai fragrance in the market, there's an affordable version made by Nabeel, which I think is pretty cool. One of the things Nabeel or the Spirit of Dubai are known for is the number of fragrance notes used in their fragrances. I mean, it goes anywhere from the 30s and above. In the case of Earth, we have about 46 or 47 notes. And I love that even though these notes are a lot, they don't interfere with each other. It's just more approachable the way the notes merge and work. So at the opening, you're getting fruity elements from like strawberry and peach. You're getting the juiciness from those two notes, as well as I believe pineapple also present here with some creaminess from coconut. That works through the first, let's say, 30 minutes of this fragrance. You get that fruity body. It's so juicy. Then as it settles in, some spiciness comes alive here from like cardamom. I'm loving the cardamom present here. If you're not into cardamom, you may not enjoy this fragrance, but that cardamom really shines through, mixed with dried fruits. Spiciness, sweetness, fruitiness, all appear in this fragrance. However, I'll describe this to be a fruitier, spicier take on Arabian's Tonka. This is just a unique fragrance. Even though it's reminiscent of Arabian's Tonka, it stands on its own as a special fragrance. You're like, what does this remind me of? Does it? Does it not? That's the kind of feeling you get when you smell Earth. It is so wonderful. Such an excellent creation from Nabil, or in this case, the Spirit of Dubai. And even though it's targeted towards men, this is such a perfect unisex fragrance. I wear it all the time and I get compliments while wearing it. It is also very, very potent. You do not need a lot when you wear this fragrance. Nabil as a brand is so unknown, relatively unknown, and I hope that they get some traction as their fragrances get some visibility because they make quality fragrances, even though it's supposed to be a dupe of their original house. Earth is wonderful and it's worth highlighting. It was released in 2023 and I'm so happy I have this in my collection. So the next best Middle Eastern fragrance release is Earth. Oh, this next fragrance will get you into trouble because of how good it is and how strong it smells. I'm talking about K by the brand Fragrance World. Fragrance World is owned by an Indian CEO, but is based out of the UAE, if I remember correctly. This fragrance, oh my gosh, it is intoxicating. If I mention any fragrance here as intoxicating, ignore those and focus on this. My word, this is the juiciest, most intense mango fragrance in my collection, hands down. And I'm saying next to God of Fire, which is such a strong mango heavy fragrance, this one takes the cake. You need to get your nose on K. No one is talking about this. Get your nose on K. But before you do, let me tell you why this fragrance will get into trouble. It is juicy, it is intense, it is such a sexy fragrance because it has a note of cannabis. I never knew that cannabis in a fragrance would be so addictive, but it is. You're getting that in this fragrance. So just fruits and cannabis, why would they be merged together? Well, I don't know whoever thought about that, but that's what we're getting with K. This fragrance is mesmerizing. What it does to my soul, I don't know. This fragrance has great projection. It's very, very aromatic. It is so bold, it's so strong. This is a fragrance that, you know what? You're wearing this because you want to get attention. You cannot wear this because you're just going out on a stroll. This is a fragrance that splits the room into two once you walk in. It is so great. Oh man, this is so good. I'm just being careful to spray it. I've had this for a little while because it's a very new release, and see, I can't stop putting it on. This is a perfect summertime fragrance. Because that mango, that's the best time to wear it. This is amazing. It's so great. Like, if you enjoy, again, fruits, mangoes, you need to get this, but be wary of that note of cannabis because, again, they will stop you over and tell you you're smoking when you have never taken a blunt before and you're just wearing this incredible fragrance. Now, apparently, this is a dupe, a spot on dupe of Narcosis by Virtus Oud. I have a sample of that fragrance and I'm blown away at how accurate the two fragrances are. That is an addictive fragrance as well, but if this is available already, don't even worry about that. Get this one. This is just an enchanting fragrance. It literally draws people into you and they want to know what you're wearing. The juiciest mango, the most intense, most delicious, most ripe mango mixed with cannabis is all you're getting in this fragrance. It's absolutely just a ravishing fragrance that this is a femme fatale fragrance. This is a fragrance that you know, oh, all eyes are on you. You're wearing like a red dress with this fragrance. I mean, red. But seriously, just an amazing fragrance, top of the crop, a perfect dupe, and just one to have in any fragrance lover who enjoys fruits in their fragrances but wants something extra. So one of the best releases from a Millicent house definitely is K by Fragrance World. And finally, a fragrance that is arguably the best release of 2023. It swept the industry by storm and has become an instant classic. You have to have this fragrance in your collection. I'm talking about Guidance by Amouage. Amouage is based out of Oman and they hold their country, their culture with so much pride. This is a company that is known for making so many phenomenal fragrances that are so long lasting and of the best quality, if I must say so. Guidance is the star of the show. Guidance is such a stellar composition. This is a different take on hazelnuts. Here, the hazelnuts are warm, creamy, but it has a spicy element thanks to the saffron added as a base note here. So, saffron brings in spiciness as well as some sweetness from what smells like honey and it's beautifully merged with the hazelnut here. So you're having such a nutty, sweet, spicy experience together in this fragrance. It is absolutely magical. It literally magnetizes anyone who smells this. It is so beautiful. This is one that I would say you wear for special occasions because it helps create such indelible memories. Now, I would tell you this that guidance is polarizing. There are some people who cannot stand it, and there are some people who love it. Thankfully, it works with my DNA and I enjoy it. I do know though that this is super pricey and you would hardly find it at a good rate. So I found a great alternative. You should definitely check out my video on it. It's so great. It's not a one-to-one, but if you're trying to understand what guidance smells like, you should definitely check that out. I also know that the Dua brand has released their dupe or clone of this, and I tried that out, and yeah, it's a great dupe. I would also put the link to it. But if you want to, spend on yourself and you can get guidance, please do. It's worth it. It's so beautiful. It's long lasting. You just need two sprays, and this would fill up your home. It will stay on your clothes for literally days. It's such a strong fragrance, and it's worth it. Beyond this being such an outstanding creation, I have to give credit to the nose and the creator of this fragrance, Quentin Bish, the master perfumer. If you don't know that name, you have definitely smelled one or more of his fragrances. He created the Lena and the Lena Exclusive by Parfum de Marly, Hibiscus Mahajad by Maison Crivelli, La Belle and La Belle Le Parfum by Jean-Paul Gaultier, Good Girl and Very Good Girl by Carolina Herrera, and so many other fragrances. You definitely have tried one of his fragrances, and there was no way he was going to disappoint with Guidance. And he did justice with this, which is why Guidance is the best fragrance released by Meliston Fragrance House and across all fragrance brands in the year 2023. And there you have it, my love. These are some of the best fragrances released by Meliston Fragrance Houses in 2023. I consider these to be top tier. There were so many others I could include, but five is our number and we stuck with it. Have you tried any of these? I'm sure you're familiar with some of them. Please let me know in the comments. What is your scent of the day as always? Mine is Guidance by Amouage, and I'm really interested to read yours. Thank you for everything, your engagement, supporting me, holding me down. I really mean it when I say holding me down because beyond the camera, we go through a lot. Of course, you go through a lot. So just you showing up for me means more than you know. Thank you for everything. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel. Then I have a question for you. When last did you pour love into yourself? Think about it, and I'll see you soon.